So it's like the Eric Andre show. You just show up and then.
I'm not familiar with that reference.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Eric Andre from.
Is that the guy from the league?
Eric Andre.
If we just keep saying it,
Eric
remember.
If we just keep saying his name, eventually.
Eric Andre. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
you guys really don't know who Eric Andre is?
I don't know. Okay. Remind me.
In my old Kentucky home. Kentucky.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Kentucky Commons Radio Hour. I'm Michael Moeller, joined tonight at Brewer Brew Supply by John Renane.
Hello.
David Satterley.
Hello.
And Matt Watson, the head brewer at the Pub on 2nd in Owensboro, Kentucky. Traveled a long way to see us.
It wasn't a long way. It's like 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's a way, at least. This episode of Kentucky Commons Radio Hour is sponsored by you, the listener and the viewer. If you like what you listen and if you like what you're listening to and if you like what you're watching,
You don't like it right now because we can't talk, but yeah.
if you like what you're listening to and like what you're watching, feel free to subscribe, rate, listen, share, do all those things because it helps us out a whole lot. We do have a YouTube channel that we've been plugging lately, so be sure to subscribe and check out those videos that we've posted. We've backlogged pretty much everything that we've ever done, put it all up on YouTube recently. So if there are episodes that you're just like, hey, I remember that one time that John and Dominique from Noble Funk came on, I want to see that episode now. You can go back into the archives of YouTube and do that. It's youtube.com/@ Louisville Ale Trail. Matt, again, thanks for making the drive on the Western Kentucky Parkway. It is. Wait, that's not the way you came, is it?
No, I came I-164 through
Evansville,
BFE, Indiana.
A good choice.
Yeah. The Evansville route.
It's
very
the
cool.
most boring way, but it saves you about 25 minutes. So
Nice.
Over the river and through the woods.
To Satterley's house we go.
That's right.
Well, we open the show up usually with a beer to share, and I believe David brought us a beer to share today.
I did. One of the funnier parts of Matt being out in Western Kentucky is I pass it all the time, but my laziness has never allowed me to stop in the middle. So I brought a beer from the place I'm normally going when I'm headed west to St. Louis.
Nice. I'm guessing it's a sour beer because of how much you're manhandling that bottle right now.
I don't know what that has to do with it, but you are correct. This is a Blend 1 side project Red Plum de Blé. This is a wine barrel aged Missouri wheat saison with red plums. If you've never had plums in a beer, they do give some really cool, like creamy, like pillowy type deals. So if someone will hand me a bottle opener, we can get this bad boy done. I think.
Oh, you got one? Or I got one right here. It's just mounted to the
guys, we have a
thing.
lot of bottle openers. Everyone in your pockets right now. Anyways,
There's also one right
I got
behind
one.
you.
no
this
worries.
is Blend 1 of this beer, so I've not had this. This came in a package with one of the barley wines that they're releasing, so this will be new for everybody.
Inferior bottle opener. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, I thought you were referring to David, and I was wholeheartedly agreeing.
Oh,
The equipment is fine. The opener could use some work.
I believe you.
I don't think we should fund your therapy this week.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never seen you stop in Western Kentucky for any beer.
I'm head down when I'm going to St. Louis. It's a 4-hour drive. I'm usually listening to a podcast or just pretending that I'm not on 64. I think even the Wizard of Oz, like Dorothy going to see the wizard, was a more adventurous journey than 64 West is for 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, that
It's pretty
adventure was
flat.
fraught with peril. Like, yeah. You're getting closer and closer to like the Plains Estates. The closer you get to the Mississippi.
Well, cheers, everyone.
Yes, cheers. Indeed.
Smells nice and plummy is the first tasting note that I would give to it. Nice and tart too. It sounds like the dregs have all been roused up off the bottom of that bottle.
David, what do you think about this one?
Honestly, I love it. It's a nice, bright, kind of light orange color. It's that classic Missouri style saison tartness. The plums add a little bit of depth.
Mhm.
Not
Matt?
bad.
Yep, I enjoy that a lot.
It reminds me of I think Upland did a Paw Paw collaboration with somebody out west, and it reminds me a lot of that. It's not as jammy as I would have thought.
It's like a fleshy fruit.
Yeah.
Plum dries out really like a ton too.
Yeah.
You just like it's one of those fruits that's really hard to get the like essence of to come through, just because it's like such a refined sugar already or something like that. Delicate flavors.
I used to love this style of beer, but anymore it's just hard for me to do more. I think it's just me getting older and not being able to.
Is it like eating the enamel off your teeth and like your stomach lining?
Because like it's good. I know it's
Yeah.
good, and I know it's in theory what it should be, but I'm just like, yeah, it's just not for me anymore. But as we're enjoying this and drinking this, thank you, David. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are now, and how you got there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you guys know, I was at Henderson Brewing Company for 4 years, and then after I left there, I got offered a job to run the pub on Second. So now I'm the head brewer there. I'm originally from Henderson, Kentucky. I actually still live there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering why you were saying 2 hours, because Owensboro is not exactly 2 hours. It's down the river. It's like 45 minutes. But
Yeah,
By steamboat, it's like 8 hours.
what?
Just saying. If,
How
if
the
you follow the river.
That's not.
How do you
that's
know
not
that?
true at all.
Well, that's at about.
How do you even know that?
Anyway, well, my
It's
grandfather
definitely
was
not-
a steamboat. So
not
I
true.
have all the inside info. Yeah.
That's true. It's very fast down the river. To
Can
get
you
to
select
Owensboro.
that option on Google Maps? Like
Yeah,
how
steamboat.
fast by steamboat?
by
Like,
water?
Canoe. Yeah.
By kayak if you paddle slowly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you guys are in the space that Mile Wide previously occupied, or no?
no.
Okay.
No. So Gambrinus Libation Emporium used to be in the building that we're currently in, and now it's owned by the same people, but it's now called the Pub on Second.
Nice.
They've been open for about 2 years, I think.
I was
And
gonna say it's new since last time I've been down there, but yeah, I need to come to check you guys out.
yes, Satterley should as well, since he
that's right.
goes west so often.
So West. I want to add this disclaimer to the podcast though. If you want to be on the podcast as a guest, the easiest way to do it is to send a bitchy DM to the Instagram and tell us that we don't represent you enough, and I'll say show up, and you did. So I'm going to give you a lot of kudos for actually showing up.
Yeah, I may have done that. I may have sent a message and said like, "Hey, where's Western Kentucky at?"
He
Like,
added the word bitchy in there.
I did,
I think
yeah.
professional and polite and effective.
well, I
Effective,
mean,
yes.
I know David well enough to be slightly bitchy.
Fair
Anyone who knows David well enough is kind of already going to be slightly bitchy when
Yeah, I get it.
communicating with him. Like over
Hashtag
social media.
FDS.
enough. Yeah, that's a throwback.
I remember that one. Yeah.
So the pub on Second's been open for about 2 years now. What exactly is the vibe there like?
So it's just a pub. It's a full bar. You have cocktails. I think there's 28 drafts there.
Wow.
Yeah. Really old building, super nice vibe. It's in downtown Owensboro, a block away from the river, and it's a really cool place to hang out. And we just put a brew space in the back. We're finishing stuff up right now, but
So they seek you out because, like you said, you were at Henderson for a little over 4 years.
mhm.
That's quite some time.
I was like hearing people's stories too. Was Henderson your first brewery job?
Yes.
And were you a home brewer before that, or how'd you get into the whole beer game?
I was a home brewer before.
Nice. How long had you been doing that, and what got you interested in the whole beer bug to begin with?
Honestly, well, I guess it's statute of limitations.
You're
at
in
this,
good company here. Yeah.
Statute of limitations at this moment, but
Every time we ask this question, someone like pauses for a second. They're like, "So I was
Consulting
14.
with my lawyer. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, whenever I was like, 18, 19, drinking shitty beer with my friends, I'm like, this cannot be something that people actually enjoy, like it just doesn't taste good. So then I tried to explore, and I had Fat Tire.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, whenever I was 18, I think it's been about 10 years. And then I decided like, oh, man, like there might actually be more to this, you know? I mean, this is pretty interesting. And I was headed on the way to medical school, or on the track. I mean, I wasn't in medical school, but I was going to get there. And then I started home brewing, got a job in sports bars, started
Nice.
trying more beers, and it eventually led me to get a job at Beverage Barn, where I was the craft beer bar manager at Beverage Barn in Henderson. And then Henderson hired me.
That's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah. And now the pub on Second, they sought me out, and here we are.
I think we met a few times over the Kentucky Craft Bash coming into town, but you had a lot of some of your own recipes that you got to develop over the time at Henderson. Are you taking any of those with you to the pub?
I think the essence of those will go. Yes, 100%. I mean, you know, I can't take any of the intellectual property, obviously, but I do have one of my recipes for you guys to try later.
Hell yeah.
Do you have a style preference that you want to focus?
No, I've never been a guy to put myself like I am my own person. I never put myself into any box because like I wear what I want. I wear a lot of swimming trunks. Like I have like legitimately.
What if the box is a swimming pool? Then I'm all up in that box. Yeah.
Maybe I am in that box. But like I have like 20 pairs of swim trunks. That's what I wear. I'll wear whatever color. I don't match. I don't know. I don't have a style. I don't have a preference. I like what I like. If I think of something and it's like Tupperware ginger wheat saison aged in red wine barrels, I'll do it.
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, I don't want to put myself there because that's just not who I am.
That's the mentality you get with coming from the homebrew world too. It's just like you relish that creativity when you can do it 5 gallons at a time, because it's just like, hey, let's just try something wacky with our friends and like, you know, whatever. So it's cool to see that same mentality brought up to a larger system where you have, instead of just 5 gallons to share with your friends, you know, barrels of beer that you can share with the entire community.
We're starting with 1 barrel at the moment, so I feel like I can go just buck wild.
Go hog.
Yeah. I'm just going to go crazy with it.
Swim Trunks Saison, I think, might be a collab that we should do with you here at some point.
Swim Trunks Saison.
Yeah.
I like this.
Or
sound
Swim
of
Trunks
that.
Cerveza. You know, there's room here.
Just make sure there's a lot of chlorine in the water. you know? That's how you brew it.
If you pee in it, it turns purple. We'll figure that out somehow.
Oh,
Do we mash in the trunks, or how does this work?
Brew in a bag.
Okay, we start out and we do a rest at like, we'll say like hot tub temperatures, and I get in swim trunks into the mash,
And that's what the
I sit
Italians do
down.
with like the grapes.
and then I just do this, undulate,
Yeah.
break up the dough balls,
Yeah.
and then I get out, we bring it up, protein rest,
I don't know
swim trunks Pilsner.
It's a kettle sour too, by the way. We let it just really sit at that like 140 degree range for a while. You know, the Italians do this with the grapes. That's part of the cult. They don't actually do it anymore, I'm pretty sure, but some people get in there with their feet and they like press the grapes, and that's part of like the whole terroir. I think we need to bring this into the brewing world with like brewer
feet.
Agitated mash. Like I'm not just in there with the paddle. I'm in there. I'm giving it my all. Like
Doesn't-
literally.
Doesn't Ocean Spray still have the
Yeah.
commercial where
Yeah,
they
the
crush
dudes
the
in, like,
cranberries?
cranberry
Is that
bogs
a
or
lie?
whatever.
They've moved on to a guy on a longboard listening to Fleetwood Mac. That's their marketing efforts.
Oh,
now.
yeah, the TikTok dude.
TikTok dude.
That guy's epic.
That is excellent.
So if you want to have some Matt Watson terroir, sound off in the comments.
Yeah. 10 comments and I'll do that.
Heck yeah.
10 comments and you'll do
and
that.
we've got to drink it.
You know, it's like it's hard to. There's nothing new under the sun in the beer world. You find you'll have these crazy ideas. And you're like, somebody's done this before. I've never ever heard of using your body to mash. You know, as the instrument, as the mash paddle,
Probably
basically.
for a reason.
We could call it human mash paddle. That could be like the subtitle of the beer.
Sounds
Anyway,
Human flesh paddle.
I love it. I'm liking it more and more all the time.
The protein rest has a little more protein than you would expect.
I think that was an episode of This Is the Last of Us, I think.
That's probable.
Thanks. Well, we also usually ask our guests to participate in a show and tell segment. And we would love for you to go ahead and bring out your first show and tell.
Which one would you like?
Either one, whatever you're speaking to your heart right now. I don't want to put you in a box, you know.
You can't put me in a box.
Exactly. I don't want to.
Didn't you bring a box?
I actually did bring a box.
But he's not in it.
God.
But he's not in it.
I'm not in it. I just have it.
This conversation's getting so like meta, like already. I love it.
You can hand me my box. Okay, this is my item.
Ooh.
And then we'll get to another beer. I couldn't really think of what to bring. So this is my 3070.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It's my graphics card for my PC. It's what I use the most whenever I'm not.
It's just a
working.
box, I'm assuming. The
It's-
graphics card
it's
is
just the
hopefully in the
box.
PC.
Brother man, I would hurt you if you touched that device because
It's your
it
baby.
costs too much money.
So, what I'm stupid when it comes to this. What does that mean?
Okay.
What is this for?
So the graphics card goes into the computer and it's what produces the graphics.
Right.
So,
And you're doing more than just hanging out on a Word doc.
yes.
Okay.
We're talking about like running games at super high frame rates
Like Minecraft?
at 2K. I mean, yeah, that too. But I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk. Actually, I just beat the last South Park game, Fractured But Whole.
Oh God. What a name.
It's fractured butthole. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was really fun. You don't really need that graphics card to
For
do
the like
that.
little
For
cartoon
South Park
guys.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need that, but for games like Call of Duty, Overwatch, I can play everything at max settings. Everything looks great. I have a big 32-inch monitor, and I just sit, and that's where I can just forget.
Have you always kind of leaned on the PC side for gaming?
Nobody's gaming on a Mac.
I mean, like Xbox, PS4.
I think you
just-
all
I
the
think you outed
Sonos,
yourself,
like-
John.
I had
What does that mean?
I don't think
I
you're a
had
gamer.
Nobody's gaming on a Mac.
no, nobody's gaming on a Mac. I started with a PlayStation 1, then a PlayStation 2, then an Xbox 360, then a PS4, and then I got a PC.
PC Master Race.
PC Master Race.
Yeah.
r/PC Master
Yep.
Race.
Yeah, any other experience of gaming is inferior to doing. And I'm not even really a gamer, but I do have this like World War I game that because I have a graphics card too for like video editing, if we're doing like CAD stuff. It's crazy what computers can do when you like put that like turbo fuel underneath the hood, so to speak, with a good
it's
graphics
nuts.
card.
Well, did you build your own computer to do that?
I actually have a friend. He's pretty much my go-to guy. I just buy him dinner and give him beer.
Nice.
And I can do it. Like I can watch a YouTube video. If I can figure out how like a pump works and these things works, I'm a problem solver. I mean, all brewers are problem solvers. I mean, that's essentially what you have to do.
Yeah.
And plumbers.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And electricians.
And janitors, yeast wranglers.
Well, glorified janitor. Janitor with perks. How's that?
Hell yeah.
No, he just does it for me because he knows what he's doing more than I do. So I'm just like, hey man, I bought this. Do you want to come do it? And so he just
PCPartsPicker.com. Shout out.
See what you do is the strategy for anytime you ever need help with anything. You just say, "Hey, how do I do this?" And then they like tell you how to do it. And then they're like, "Okay, but what if this happens instead?" Then you just keep asking questions until eventually they say, "You know what? I'm free on Tuesday. Why don't I just come by?"
yeah.
Yeah. I'll just do it for you.
Well, I've already gotten to that point with most of my friends, so I just text them and I'm like, send a picture. I'm like, hey, this is on sale. They're like, oh, you should buy that. I already did. Do you want to put it in when it comes in? That kind of deal normally happens.
So I just bought an Xbox again somewhat recently for the first time in a while, just because I needed something to zone out to at home. And what I'm finding out is that it's very hard to play video games when I'm even slightly buzzed. Like I cannot do that at all.
It messes with your reaction time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. My Halo multiplayer skills are just way down when I'm drinking.
Well, it's also like practice and hand-eye coordination. It's different with sticks, and then some games I play on mouse and keyboard, and some things I just do on controller. With PC, you can plug in. I mean, you could probably plug in a potato if you had enough wires and program it somehow. I don't really know how that works, but
Probably.
OpenAI is working on that one, the potato keyboard. Yeah.
ask Chat GPT or whatever.
Yeah. How about VR? Do you have any experience doing that VR stuff?
I've tried it out before, and I could theoretically.
Yeah.
I mean, my PC is definitely powerful enough, but I don't have the room, and I feel like that's just too disorienting.
Yeah. So I can understand like the my main relaxation game is Age of Empires 2, which I am terrible at, and whatever. But it's a good way to just like chill out or whatnot. But I've done things, but you couldn't do that in VR. Like it's just a place where you sit and look at a screen. I've done some of the stuff in VR. I have like one of those like Facebook ones or whatever. The Quest, not
Quest.
the new one, with the older one or whatever.
I thought you had a VR where you could like row through the
That's the only thing that I use it for is
yeah.
exercising. Yeah, it's not for relaxing because it's like not that relaxing to have the thing on your head and it's kind of disorienting.
Yeah,
But it's really fun for doing like the boxing game or like you can do it while you're
the
on the
Beat
rowing
Saber.
machine. I have not done that one. I was thinking about that. Yeah. But anyway, I was just curious if you'd had any experience in VR and kind of what you thought about it and where it might be going or how it's going to. Have you seen the VR brewery game where you run your own brewery in VR and it like you download, it's kind of like Farmville, I guess. I've never played Farmville, but I think I kind of get it. You like download recipes and then you have to like call people and get them to send you ingredients. And then you brew the beer in VR and then in like, you try to match all the guidelines and then fake people give you reviews on your beer. And then according to how good it is, you can like sell it to a distributor or something like that. And then you get more money to buy new equipment. This is all new to you, is it? Yeah.
I've never heard of that,
Okay,
and that
okay,
sounds absolutely horrible.
I know. So this is
Because
my thing.
It seems like a waste of time.
I could see it being a really good educational tool, like in terms of just kind of learning like how to do it. So like one time my AC like broke. And that's the great thing about computers and technology. You can go on YouTube and like figure out how to fix your AC
Mhm.
or whatever. And then I realized in the same thing that like that AC technicians these days, before they go out and like practice in the field, and I think medical students are using this too, like you can put on the VR things and you know, you can work on an air conditioner and it kind of shows you where to plug stuff in, how to test high pressure, low pressure. With medical students, they're using it to learn anatomy and
You
like
don't
do dissections.
accidentally electrocute yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But with beer, how can you learn anything if you can't drink it?
I don't know. Like VR's not going to teach you how to put on a damn tri-clamp.
True.
I'll tell you that.
Sure. Well, I think it could in time, but not right now. No.
No, not right now. Not with your Zuckerberg headset.
But more than anything, like the proof of the pudding of beer, like you can't just brew to style. It has to be an interaction between you and the thing.
Well, yeah, it's also so dependent on so many physical properties that you're not learning how to make any product on virtual reality.
And there's no
that's
normal brew
baffling
day.
to me.
Yeah.
No.
Something always goes wrong, or the temperature's not where it should be, or like the grain crush is different, or whatever.
Well,
anyway.
My actual hell would be to
Trying to brew in VR.
no brewing beer and then going home and trying to relax by brewing beer in VR.
Into Zuckerverse.
That's why pros don't homebrew, right? I mean, that's why.
It's fruitless, man.
Yeah.
It just feels like, oh, I made 5 gallons.
Yeah.
I have to bottle this. Or I have to keg this one keg that I'm going to finish by myself. And if it sucks, then it sucks. And I'm stuck.
Yeah. That's what's nice about having that one barrel system underneath you. You can still experiment. So it's good enough for that where you don't have to worry about like 30 barrels coming out weird or something like that. But it's big enough where it's a lot of beer at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, we're planning on expanding once we get there.
Mm-hmm. So you'll always have that as a pilot system too. And then when the recipes are working out and whatever, take them to scale.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Well, I can always put on a VR headset and experience the streets of Owensboro and Western Kentucky via VR. But tell me what I couldn't experience the culture. So why don't you just like tell us a little bit about like the beer drinkers there in Owensboro and Henderson and beyond?
Now that's tough.
I would say like Owensboro has grown a lot in the past few years.
Yeah, Owensboro and Henderson both of those places are starting to get more young people, which are the primary drivers of innovation. So there's, people in their mid 40s. Some of them are adventurous, but some of them like what they know, and that's what it is. That's how the beer culture appeals, and that's why Western Kentucky has the beer styles that they do. Is because that's what.
Well, what are those beer styles?
Typically more classic IPAs. New England IPAs are definitely growing in popularity, but you're not getting as much exploration into like the new pastry style sweet things that appeal to non-beer drinkers. So we're starting to cross over into that, and that's part of the reason why I feel like a good fit is because I don't want to. I want to break the mold.
Yeah.
Everyone
Everyone rides that line of trying to produce something that people want and versus like what you actually feel like is creatively expressive of what you're trying to do.
Well, yeah, but the part of advertising is you're trying to draw in new, not satisfy the old. You want to satisfy your old customers by producing a good product, but you want to bring in new people that you may not be able to bring in with other things that you do. What if you make something that tastes like a gummy worm? Will white women in their 40s drink it? 100%. Every single time.
Do you have a strategy for how you like approach that kind of do you set off when you're making new recipes with like that non-craft beer drinker or not customer or whatever in mind, or do you just do what you want and then figure out ways to reach those people? Is there a do you have any kind of structure about that internally, or how those things develop in your head?
So it starts out with like a vision. How far do I want to go? And then the name comes later. So I want the name and if we're doing a label, which we're not going to be doing labels at the Pub on Second at the moment.
Not on a one barrel system.
Not on a one barrel system, but
you're not going to buy a canning line.
you start with an idea and then you market it as like it's festive or whatever. I did a beer called Johnny Brunch at Henderson Brewing Company, and I think it was like 31 pounds of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Wow.
In a 3-barrel batch.
That's a lot of Cinnamon
directly
Toast
into the
Crunch.
mash.
Yeah. Directly into the mash. And it tasted like freaking cereal.
Yeah.
And that one was Johnny Brunch, covered it up with a whole bunch of spice, like 7% alcohol. And that one was straight up not for beer drinkers. Johnny Brunch, it's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
But something more approachable, like I have the coconut IPA called Coconut Head from Henderson. And that one is real coconut flavor, and it's got some bite, it's got some bitterness, it's bright, but it's labeled an IPA because it appeals to people that drink IPAs.
Yeah, I think you could also, it's either you make the style and market it towards the audience that you want, or you have an idea and just like have it a fun idea to begin with, and then market it also fun or just boring and be like, it's in the taste, or it's a really funny can. So like Against the Grain brown note, it's a brown ale. Nobody really cares about brown ales. Some people live and die by it, and they're very good from when they are. But it's not like a hot, sexy.
Right.
No, it has a dude shitting his pants on it.
That's against the grain.
It
No,
does.
But Bell's Brown Note is another good example.
but
Or
here's-
Bell's Brown Ale. Yeah, yeah.
But here's the thing: nobody cares about Bell's Brown Ale.
right, I do.
Even though
but
it's great, nobody
right.
cares about it. So against the
nobody's
grain,
getting hyped about it.
against the grain, at least they're getting some buzz around the label.
Mhm. The coconut IPA sounded really interesting. I wish we could try that. I would love to try that beer.
You can.
Imagine. Imagine.
Imagine if you could.
Yep. So we do, thank you, Matt, have this beer here, Coconut Head, Cocoa Nut Head, Coconut IPA. I think I've had this before, but not in a can. Beautiful label, got some tropical colors on it. Got little heads as coconuts. Pretty cool.
Yes.
Looks like Bob's Burgers characters.
Yeah, 100%.
So the story behind this, I did not make the label, but I worked with the two wonderful ladies that Henderson uses to do their labels, somewhere in Indianapolis, I think. But I told them my vision for the label, and they did a really good job.
It's got a lot of 90s Saved by the Bell
Trapper
vibes
Keeper
in it.
vibes.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Let me pour
Oh
this
yeah,
out.
the coconut aroma is really nice coming off of there. We talked about how plum is a difficult fruit to capture in brewing. Coconut can be kind of tricky too, because I feel like with coconut you either vastly underdo it and it doesn't show up at all, or like one of the worst homebrew beers I ever made was a coconut porter, and I used real coconut and like I soaked it, and I was gonna extract it and I soaked it in rum. And like it tasted like goddamn Malibu rum. It just took over.
Sunglasses.
Yeah,
Sunscreen.
yeah, sunscreen. Exactly right. I knew what you were trying. I knew what you were going for there.
Did you write this caption as well?
I did write the caption.
Yeah, read it.
I'm going to read it for you in the voice of Matt Watson.
Mhm.
Or just mine.
Jimmy Buffett.
Nostalgia. The wistful affection for the past. Everyone has a time that they can find a blissful moment in their memories. Coconut Head is created with the nostalgia of being a little kid at the beach in mind. Yeah. Oh, fuck this. Fresh citra and centennial hops coupled to form a smooth citrus and tropical sensation, while a gentle coconut kiss sweetens the finish. These flavors create a beach vacation experience regardless of time or place. We hope Coconut Head will help you to indulge in some of your happy moments from the past. Just don't break your neck looking backwards. India Pale Ale.
Hell yeah.
Very well written.
Well,
Thank you.
having just tasted it, I'd say it's also very well brewed. This is really good, man. It's that perfect balance between the coconut comes through the first to me. It's like not sweet because it's still an IPA, but it's like that sweeter essence of coconut that you coconut cream kind of vibe.
Yeah, it has coconut cream in it as well.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then that really rounds it out. And then the hops kind of come through to balance it so it doesn't get too kind of cloying or like sunscreeny or whatever. This is great.
And then I get coconut. Hang on, let me
Take a sip.
And then there's the coconut that matches the bitterness that I don't know. I mean, technically speaking, I think this is bitter to 77 IBU.
Oh, wow.
But
You would not guess it.
No, it's quite a bit of coconut.
Did you like it before you conditioned it? Because I think like Citra and Centennial, that'll produce a lot of alpha, be pretty bitter.
Yeah.
Too much? Too zombie dust-esque?
That's all Citra.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you,
I do like the beer, but everybody's done an American IPA before, and you can make really good ones. And I've had ones that are better than others, but this is something that the Citra and Centennial was meant for the coconut. I mean, it wasn't built to be a standalone IPA. That was my intention. The beer is good.
I'll tell you what I actually
coconut,
get from
100%.
Have you ever like drank coconut water like actually from a coconut?
no, I'm not rich, John.
Well,
No, I'm not rich.
Anyway,
either. If anybody wants to send me money,
My au pair when I was young would bring fresh coconuts in for me for breakfast, and cracked them open at my bedside. No, anyway, but I've bought coconuts before just to see what it's like. But anyway, bring me a coconut.
One coconut, please. Make sure it's good this time.
When you get it actually out of a coconut, you kind of get that like little. There's always like a little bit of the shell that goes in there. There's like a little bit of the actual coconut, like.
Flesh.
Yeah, that actually is mixed up in there. That's kind of, I think, what the hops do to this. It keeps it from being kind of too artificial or sweet tasting. It kind of makes it rounds it out.
Wait, why isn't this being served out of coconuts in the tap room?
Ooh, we should have thought of that for tonight's podcast episode.
Because we're not rich, Michael.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah. I'll ask my au pair. It's like,
You had no
Industry
pair
night.
and we still pay for your therapy.
well, come on. This is how do you think you get rich? Like,
So Western Kentucky, I just do want to talk a little bit about that still. The region is unknown to me, honestly. Like I am very familiar with Eastern Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, Louisville region, Southeastern Kentucky, Central Kentucky. Western Kentucky, seems very large. How would you define Western Kentucky?
It's massive. It's
mammoth.
It's not that we don't blame any of you guys for leaving us out. We just know that we're just kind of unknown. Like, I mean, people don't really go over there, you know? I mean, you don't stop in Kentucky. You either go to St. Louis. I'm thinking of someone.
It's
FDS.
David. It's David.
I mean, you've got things over there. You've got Land Between the Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
Mammoth Cave.
Mammoth Cave.
Yeah. So what are the, Matt Watson's top 3 travel tips for Western Kentucky?
This is gonna sound ridiculous, but Henderson is a really great town to visit.
It's a beautiful river town.
Absolutely. The downtown is gorgeous, and if you're looking for nice people, seriously, Western Kentucky is the place to go, because I could be like on fire or out of gas or need $1 and I get treated the exact same way. Like, everybody will help you at the drop of a hat. 100%.
Do you all have the wave when you drive past someone?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Because it's like, that was something I didn't like experience until I went to Eastern Kentucky. And like, you'd be driving your car and people just wave at you. And you're like, dude, why the fuck is that guy waving at me? And
Well, I didn't even know what you were talking about, because we
called
we
being
all
friendly.
do that. I mean, we just, like, you drive past somebody and like somebody's getting their mail and I'm like,
wave. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
then-
wave at them like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. And they're like, why are you being rude? I'm like, what do you mean rude? And they're like, you city folk, you better wave.
Yeah, you need to wave.
I would
It's
shout out
polite.
like not Henderson and like but all not even Western Kentucky, but Western Kentucky specifically. All of the smaller towns have really cute little downtown areas too.
Mhm.
A lot of historic buildings, which, as you were kind of alluding to earlier, are starting to kind of get filled back in from the de-urbanization of small towns that kind of was happening in, like, I don't know what, probably started in like the early 60s and then kind of continued into the 70s and the economic slowdowns, and then kind of got blown up under like Reaganism and like the rise of the freaking megacorps and like the Walmarts and like the disappearance of the mom and pops. But it seems like that trend is reversing now. Breweries, to me, are a leader of that.
Oh, that we're definitely a leader in that, and there are still mom and pop shops in all these small towns that you're just not gonna find in the cities. I mean, you might be able to find. There's still some stuff in Louisville. I mean, I know for a fact. I've been to some small town things, but
But you're not going to find them unless you know.
you're not going to find them
Yeah.
because they're probably not going to have Facebook pages.
Yeah.
They're going to be ran by grandma, whatever, and their daughter is the accountant,
Mm-hmm.
and their granddaughter is the host, and that type of stuff. It's camaraderie. I mean, you walk into the small town places. Like when I'm in Henderson, I walk in, I'm like, oh, hi, and I end up talking to people for an hour and a half just eating lunch.
Yeah.
I mean,
How does anyone get anything done?
it's tough.
Come on, city boy. Yeah.
I remember
Why are you so obsessed with getting stuff done? Take him into the smell of roses.
the best example of that I can think of is in Hopkinsville, there's a small town outside of Hopkinsville called Elkton.
Mhm.
Elkton is really pretty. Just like I don't know, I might still be Christian County, but it is just a really pretty small town, courtyard and everything. And there's like an ice cream parlor still. Like,
Mhm.
do you want some malted milkshakes? Come to Elkton.
Oh, I love malted milkshakes.
Yeah, but it was
So
like
much better than
old
ice cream.
school. Just
We have a pharmacy, like a old timey pharmacy, which has soda pop and ice
Yeah.
cream.
yeah. But drugs in Corden, Indiana. I think still has, still has all
Yeah.
that.
There's also drugs, but I mean that's what pharmacies used to be. They used
Yeah.
to be like a little diner.
It was kind of like the original, like all-in-one place. It was like where you could go get a soda
Yeah.
pop, or you could get your thing, like your they probably didn't have like prescription drugs back then, but you could get your like laudanum or your
Yeah.
like
Mom would get her Quaaludes. The kids would
there
get
you go.
2 soda pops
Yeah.
and ice cream.
Exactly. Pack of cigarettes, a sack of fertilizer or whatever, and like, take it back home.
Don't
And
forget
that-
the Quaaludes.
And
Yeah,
that,
you gotta have the Quaaludes. That's why we're here, folks. Kids, get in the car.
So
and that weird lump on your arm. You know,
yeah.
I could fix that too.
Oh yeah, just yep.
So I asked the question about defining Western Kentucky because it is quite large. Like, and there's still plenty of room to grow for the breweries.
Oh yeah.
What's the average distance between, I guess, breweries in that region of Kentucky? Because I do want to highlight, like, it's not Lexington, it's not Louisville, it's not Richmond now with Dreaming Creek and no, just Dreaming Creek. Never mind. But like, how far do you have to travel for a brewery?
So Henderson has one, and then the closest one is Brewbridge, which is about 26 minutes away. Right down the road is going to be the pub on Second. From Henderson,
Paducah.
the closest one is Hopkinsville.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen, city boy. You don't know
Listen,
how those
city
country
boy,
roads.
let me
You don't
tell
know
you-
those country roads.
Let me learn you a thing or two, all right?
You got to stop to wave at everybody on the way, so it takes longer.
It takes so much longer. I mean, if there's a parade, dear God, you're going to get carpal tunnel before you even get halfway there. But
almost
yeah,
did a spit take on that one. Kept it in.
Hopkinsville, and then Bowling Green is going to be New White Squirrel,
Mhm.
and then 2 in Paducah.
But it's not like one town over. Like, just to illustrate for people that don't know, it is far. Like, you are traveling more than just one day to get to all of those places at that point.
It's probably going to be about 2 full days.
Yeah, if you want to stop and have a beer at everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also Madisonville Community College has a brewing science program.
Oh wow.
Madisonville is opening a brewery. There's one more. I'm sorry.
Newly opening or existing?
Newly opening.
I heard about one the other day, but I can't remember the name of it. It's like something buddies or something I'm not going to get there.
You mentioned White Squirrel being revived
Yes.
by the folks at Gasper Brewing, I believe, are going in
That
there.
is correct.
They did post something today, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I had to pull it up. But it's the same White Squirrel logo, and it says, "Rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated."
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it's this wonderful, like, double colored shirt. It's fucking awesome. I really liked Sean when they ran that.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing that space take another, that's in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
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 So,
It's in a really good spot downtown.
yeah.
They actually have parking, which in Bowling Green, if you've ever been there, is a miracle.
Yeah. I'll take a minute too to shout out, like we talk a lot in Louisville beer stuff, like how much we think Louisville's blowing up just like as a beer destination and the quality of all the stuff coming out. But, Eastern Kentucky, we could talk about separately, but almost all the breweries in Western Kentucky too are putting out fire stuff. Like every time I try anything from, stuff you guys bring to Craft Bash or getting out and about, or we're lucky enough here in the shop that like we see the guys from like Flywheel a lot and just like Brewbridge and all those people, like they're making really good beer.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky, even beyond Louisville, is a little bit of a sleepy craft beer nerd. Like we're putting out some good stuff.
I'll tell you another thing. Western Kentucky beer, which I can't speak because I don't brew in Louisville, but we are a family. I mean, we are extremely close. I mean, it's straight camaraderie. There's not even a word of ill feeling towards anybody. We love each other. We really do. And we're not isolated for the fault of anyone else. It's just like all the stuff is on the east side of Kentucky.
That means you guys are going to are the OGs of this emerging thing, because it's not, pre-prohibition. There probably was breweries in every little small town and stuff. But
yeah, actually,
especially on the river. Yeah.
Fun fact: Henderson Brewing Company existed before pre-prohibition.
That's Peerless's story.
Peerless.
That's correct, and that was in Henderson.
That's awesome.
Downtown.
Wow.
Yep.
And now it's coming back, thanks to people who are putting their blood, sweat, and tears on the line and making it happen day by day. It's not. It is a glamorous job because it's cool and it's fun, but
it seems cool.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But day to day, it's a labor of love.
It's a labor.
Yeah.
And there's love.
And there's alcohol and beer and stuff like that helps.
Yeah, that's there too.
Yeah.
So Western Kentucky doesn't hate us?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to clear that up for everybody.
No, there's no ill feelings. I mean, we do make jokes like the Golden Triangle.
Oh yes.
Wait, what's the third? It's Louisville, Lexington, and
Northern Kentucky.
Northern Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's Cincinnati.
Newport.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys are the Golden Triangle, and then Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky, we're just like, hey, please, sir, can I have some more?
Well, that's truly one of the missions of Ale Trail as well. Obviously, we focus on Louisville beer stuff, but the reason this podcast is called Kentucky Commons Radio Hour, and you were very correct in bitching at David Satterley that it's about Kentucky too, because there's so much beer history here that people don't know about, and the more we can spread that joy, the better. And if people are listening to this, I know a lot of our audience is outside of Louisville, but taking a little day trip is such a fun thing to do, to take a small town Kentucky day trip to go to any small place. But you guys should definitely
Can I
go drink.
I do have a confession to make.
Go ahead.
I've never been to Owensboro.
Well, it's not that far.
Have you been to Henderson?
Yeah, I've been to Henderson 5 times probably. I've been to the brewery probably 4 times out of those times, but yeah, I've just never really hung out in Owensboro. Never went to any of the breweries there. Sorry, mile wide.
That's also where the Bluegrass Hall of Fame is too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, go check that out.
It's downtown.
Day trip.
And then you go on to Paducah for the Quilt Museum. I mean, you got a whole.
Don't talk to me about a quilt museum.
Quilt museum.
Yeah. My
how old are you guys?
I'll give a shout out to my mom, who I know is a listener, but my mom and my aunt will take every other year, bi-yearly pilgrimage to go to the Paducah. They'll rent a houseboat on the lake and they'll stay there as their Airbnb, and then they'll go to the quilt shows and stuff. A fun time. Those people get up to some crazy shit from the stories I've heard.
Well, speaking of stories, we have some stories to share for Louisville on the Louisville side of things. Noble Funk is celebrating their 1-year anniversary on March 17th. I believe this podcast episode will already be out by then, but cheers to Noble Funk for celebrating 1 year. We're doing the collab release for an Irish Red Rye Ale that's coming out tomorrow at Molly Malone's. So excited to try that. But in general, as far as, just a great pizza sandwich brewery place goes in Old Louisville, which is a part of town that probably could use some more breweries. Yeah,
bro.
There's some places that are within even a 5-minute drive away, but for some reason, Noble Funk is kind of there. Just you want to go there, right? So,
if you want a testament to the fact that they're actually making an impact over there, I haven't had anybody, I would say in about a year, which makes sense, refer to it as the old Kroger building. People now just call it Noble Funk, which that's a mark, especially in Louisville, because that's how people refer to things. But yeah, they've established themselves and they're making good stuff.
Yeah. And then also on March 17th, David.
Yeah, March 17th. Also, Atrium is opening up their second location over at Norton Commons. So for all you folks that are scared of downtown, you can just stay in Norton Commons.
I love that Germantown is downtown.
Yeah,
Shelby Park
Shelby
is
Park
downtown.
But no, props to them for they've expanded over the last couple of years, and opening a second tap room is always something that people wish and dream about. So nothing but good thoughts towards them. I think they'll do well out there. I think we talk a lot about getting breweries opened up outside 264, kind of expanding the reach. Something in your backyard is always going to be better. So excited for them to open up over there.
Do you want to talk about the John King speculation about Norton Commons?
No.
No.
Why would we do that?
All right, we'll do that on our Patreon.
On March 20th, we have Monix Scott Hand Day. It's a Scott Hand was the former brewer who's now down deceased. March 20th is his birthday. This is the second annual Scott Hand Day that Monix has celebrated essentially in his honor. Great guy, great reason to celebrate his life and kind of some of the beers that he made at one point, one of them being a barley wine called Never Be Golden. They're going to do a couple variants of that one. There's also going to be the, I guess we'll call it the Scott Hand Beer of Kentucky, Scruffy Outlier. Just stay tuned if you're interested in Kentucky beer news. Stay tuned on that on social media and the website calendar for that. Then also on March 31st, we cut that. Then also recently, there was the Pink Boots Collaboration Day that happened between a bunch of different breweries here in Kentucky, specifically in Louisville and Lexington. They brewed it at Mere Twin in Lexington. It is called Pink to the Past. It's going to be a hazy pale ale that will be released on March 31st. Participants included folks from Against the Grain, Akasha, Atrium, Butchertown, Country Boy, Shipping Port. Like I said, it happened at Mere Twin. I saw a sneak peek of the label. Yeah. Definitely some IP theft going on with a Pink to the Past.
No.
If you can believe it, but that's what's
that doesn't
going on
happen in beer.
No, not at all.
It looked like Minecraft to me on the label there.
But proceeds for that beer do benefit the Pink Boots Society. Kentucky has a great chapter and a growing chapter. So if you don't know anything about Pink Boots Society, just go to pinkbootssociety.org.
Yeah, I will say seeing all their posts that they were doing like on the brew day made me wish I was there hanging out with them. They looked like they had a lot of fun like brewing that beer. So I'm excited to try it.
In I like the point about Pink Boots also is that it's not specifically aimed at like brewers or anyone that has direct impact. This is a community that is also like bartenders, anybody interested in beer, etc. They're very inclusive. There's chapters around the country. This is a massive organization, and can't say enough good things about the work they're doing.
And I will just throw in on that. Kate Russell at Hopkinsville Beer Company. Yeah. She is the most excited about the Pink Boots Society I've ever seen someone in my life. She is very committed, very driven. If you email her, you can probably just contact Hopkinsville Brewing Company, but she will give you any information. If you are a bartender, if you work at a brewery, if you're associated with a brewery, if you're a wife of a brewer, she will welcome you at Hopkinsville Brewing Company if you're willing to make the trip. 100%.
We talked about her before winning the competition with Sam Adams and going up there and doing all that collaboration brew. So yeah, go women. Pink Boots again.
Kate's a fantastic.
Just go like
being.
Awesome brewers. Like she's great. As good as it gets.
She's a fantastic person.
Yeah.
I love that woman. I really do.
Smart, funny, talented, shrewd. Makes good beer.
Hey, Sean.
Okay.
You want to do it? Yeah. Take us there.
Well, I guess it's that time, folks. I have a surprise segment for you guys. It's a segment that I like to call What in the Hell Does It Taste Like Now? Where we discover what in the hell does it taste like now?
Hell yeah.
This is I think the show's first surprise segment.
Yep.
From a guest.
Yep.
I kind of forgot about this.
I also forgot about this.
So the story behind this is that you did and still do, because that still exists out in the world, a podcast that you called the Manosphere. Is that correct? Manaverse, thank you. And this was a segment that gained huge notoriety.
Thank you,
Siri's
Siri.
talking to us at some point.
Yeah,
So
Siri's
break it
talking
down
to
for us.
So on the Manaverse podcast that I used to do, I would have a segment. I am actually going super easy on you guys with this one, but I would go to the worst gas station, liquor stores, the backwoods areas of Western Kentucky, and I would find beers that sat on shelves, or I would purposely buy beers that are aged in the sun.
Hell yeah.
And I would put them back in a closet and wait until they were prime.
Yes.
And so I would bring stuff like the newest hazy beers, like the newest saisons, the newest barley wines, everything aged in bourbon barrels.
But they're shelfies.
But no,
Okay.
like they were new, they were hype. I was up in the beer trade. But then at the end of the show, once everybody had a little bit of a buzz, I'd make you try something that was poop.
Okay.
And I knew it was going to be poop.
Okay.
So it wasn't, we never like hated on any companies, because like
Yeah.
all of these I would describe like, hey, this is 7 years old. Hey, this can's busted up, and I found it underneath the shelf at an Indian gas station in BFE, Kentucky somewhere.
That's great, dude. That's awesome.
30 cents
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
4-pack.
I feel like the distributors should be paying you for this segment too, for like clearing out the old inventory from like the
And I purposely, I still have a whole closet full.
hell yeah.
So I decided to go easy on you guys.
Okay.
I didn't pull anything that would be terrible. So this is Terreux by the Bruery, Gypsy Tart. It's a Flemish brown ale, and this is a 2016.
I don't want it.
No, it's gonna be good, dude.
So it is only 7 years old. I've done worse. Trust me. If Mendenhall, if you watch this, which I'm gonna make you, this is not that bad.
Yikes.
This is
Anyway.
not that bad, as always a great way to like intro things.
All right.
So will we get a gusher? Is the first question.
Yeah. That's the fun part. You never know.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
We're
Okay.
good.
I mean, it was aged well when I got it.
This is back in the brewery
Smells fine.
like member bottle like age, where they would just send you these like cases of acetic like sour things and be like, yeah, this is what you paid for, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then they would just distro them out to, I mean, this is from
Dude.
California. Am I wrong?
I think it's California.
Yeah, all the way to Henderson, Kentucky.
Does Kentucky even see distro from the brewery anymore? I haven't really thought about them in a while.
I don't think they do too much.
No,
in
not
this area.
Not anymore.
Was that a Dauntless
I was
thing
gonna
at
say,
the
get on it,
time?
Nolan.
It was Dauntless.
Honestly, it doesn't
It
smell
smells
that
fine.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a little oxidized, obviously, but like the funk should help kind of clean that up.
All right.
If I'm completely honest, I kind of just wanted to bring back me saying, "What in the hell does it taste like now?" Where we discover, what in the hell does it taste like now?
What in the hell does it taste like?
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes you don't know. Like, you see a beer on the shelf and you're like, "Oh, 2019, it's an IPA. Wonder what the hell that tastes like." And now you can discover.
I think you just introduced a new segment for us to
It's-
steal.
Hey, I'm telling you, you're more than welcome to steal it. It was
I
one
still-
of those drunk ideas that I had, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be amazing.
I still have a Lizard of Cause at home.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So here's what it does taste like now. Old, not terrible. Oxidized, a little thick.
Oh God.
Pucker.
It's a bit. It's a not going to acetic, but it's getting there.
It's pretty acetic.
That's one
mean,
of the most sour things I've had in a while.
It tastes like lemon juice cardboard.
Yes, there you go. This is the
This is Yellow
This is the
Warhead
seasoned professional.
territory.
Yeah.
It's
Hey.
lemon juice cardboard.
But it's not that bad.
It's not. It is better than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, I'm going easy on you.
And
'Cause-
as we said earlier, I've had worse. Like
This could be far more offensive.
Yeah.
If there's Band-Aid or like butter or something else, I'd be like,
Once you coat your mouth, it gets better after a couple sips.
it's not pretty.
No,
It's not
mud
pretty to
water.
look at.
I do enjoy that there's this element of torture associated with craft beer where like, hey, I'm going to age this in my cellar. And then like you taste it, you're like, God, it tastes like ass, but it's not that bad.
Well, it's always good to like.
Like I keep wanting to taste it even though I know it's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really tart.
Well, like there's like B movies that everybody loves, and you still love them. Like, I mean, it's not great, but like you see, like,
I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
you see, like,
Maybe I missed something. Maybe I missed
Like,
a part
there's-
of it.
not Cocaine Bear, but like Fentanyl Pelican or something comes out, and you're like, I'll
It's the name
watch
of
that.
Jimmy Buffett's new album.
That sounds awesome.
Ayahuasca Zebra.
Hell yeah.
PCP Parrot Head.
Yeah, and then you see it on Netflix, you're like, all right.
Fuck it.
And
I
then
can
you
invest
just
6 hours in this.
You're just like, I'll do it, whatever, just to see. I mean, life's about exploration.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not mad about this. This is interesting.
We've had worse.
I tried to always stay away. I tried to be very analytical on that show, but I never, ever, ever wanted to be snobby because I hate when people are super snobby and like gatekeeping about beer, because beer is supposed to be the most inclusive thing. It's the most inclusive type of alcohol. So this was my way of saying, hey,
Which ties it back into a mission like yours, like the stuff that you're brewing at the pub. It's just like, it's an invitation to people. The more snobby you are and the more like you get high in your own supply or smell your own farts or whatever, that doesn't further the cause. And as you're talking about all the camaraderie and stuff in Western Kentucky, it's because we all know that like it's still the rising tide that's lifting all ships against the freaking Walmart effect that happened to beer during Prohibition. And so it's getting back to the people making it for the community and people around the state taking day trips to explore new places to drink beer. We would recommend yours and all the other ones down there. But yeah, it's pretty tart, man.
It is
that,
pretty
all,
sour.
that all connects in my head.
I'm
I
burping.
totally agree.
Good.
David, what do you got to plug?
I'm going to plug Results Physical Therapy. If you've ever broken your elbow roller skating, you might want to go to Results.
Have you done that?
No, someone I know did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
His
sure.
name is
So-
James. Definitely not me.
John, what do
I'm
you
going
got?
to shout out, I guess, windstorms. We had a tremendous windstorm blow through the entire region, and we got off at the domicile pretty scot-free, but we had a giant tree come down. So,
Glad you got off at house.
well, cutting that thing down. Whew. I'm also going to shout out the power of the new version or the new generation of electric chainsaws. Because piece by piece. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Shout
Storm
out to
damage.
John's.
Harbor Freight 80-volt chainsaws. That's mine. Pray for me.
Matt, what's going on? What do you want people to know about?
Well, the pub on Second.
Hell yeah.
Follow our socials. You're more than welcome to follow my socials, actually. I'm Matt Watson on Facebook, which I regrettably use because everybody else does, and that's how you get information out. But at Matt the Watson on Instagram, that's where I post more stuff. And also shout out to these guys for actually letting me come from Podunk, Western Kentucky, and wave at them on their podcast.
Okay,
Hold on.
nobody
Letting you
said
come.
Podunk.
Letting you come. Wait a second. But no, thank you for coming up too, because that's
No
truly
problem.
part of the mission is that it's just, there's such a good community here, such good
Yeah.
individuals and personalities behind it all, and sharing that is huge.
Yeah. You added bitchy. I can add podunk. It's fair.
But you pointed to me specifically.
Well, you've never even been
You've
to
got,
Owensboro.
you've got the vibe. You've got the vibe.
On my end, I'm going to plug Married at First Sight.
Oh no.
It's such a trashy TV show. I can't look away. It is the equivalent to this beer that we just had. It's just like why am I watching this? I don't know, because it's kind of fun to do, I guess.
But you just keep needing another
Are
sip.
you familiar with this show?
I've watched I've watched a couple episodes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Not in their entirety, but I've watched clips from it. Like there's a YouTuber that I like, and he puts together like all the TLC like trashy shows.
Oh.
And he's like, hey, here's this week's latest shit show. And then he'll just like put together these clips. And I'm like, oh my God, why would they put this on TV? Wait, why am I watching it?
Why am I watching the YouTube version of it?
Yeah, why am I on YouTube watching this?
I have no idea what the show is, but based on TLC, here's my guess. People who were blind, but then they get their eyesight restored, and then they have to marry the first person they see. Is that it?
That's kind of close.
Okay, well.
Mr.
Honestly.
Beast did that. Mr.
I
Beast did
saw
that.
that. Yeah, and everybody was
Yeah.
like mad at him or something. I don't know. I saw a lot of like Twitter being angry about it for some reason. I don't understand the world. But yeah, he did like eyesight restoration for people.
And because John said eyesight restoration, thank you all so much. Appreciate the show tonight.
The word of the day is
Eyesight